We begin tonight with a desperate search for a missing toddler ending in tragedy. The 3-year-old pulled from a retention pond this evening at an apartment complex on Indy's northeast side. IMPD says the toddler's mom got home to find a door open and her child missing. When she checked the doorbell camera, she noticed the 3-year-old had gone outside about a half hour earlier. She called 911, started calling for the child. A neighbor joined the search at Avalon Lake Apartments. That neighbor is the one who found the child in the water. When police got there, they say they gave CPR until an ambulance arrived. Sadly, the child later died at the hospital. IMPD says losses like this aren't just devastating for the family, but also the officers and the witnesses.
Chaplain will be working with the family and with the officers because that's a tough thing for that civilian who helped out. That's very, very difficult. And of course for the officers it's very, very tragic because you see too much death on this job, and to really work on that child and do the best they could and then have it not turn out great, it's just horrible for the officers too.
IMPD is still investigating who was home with the child and exactly how they got outside. Now to storm damage in communities hit hard by wind and rain overnight. Take a look at this truck upended and suspended on an uprooted tree. This image from Monroe County. We also learned a woman camping at Hardin Ridge Campground nearby was taken to the hospital overnight after a tree fell on her and trapped her. Medics, police, and firefighters rescued the camper. She went to the hospital, but she is expected to be okay. And Winds Marina got damaged by storms too this weekend. Boaters now in cleanup mode. Our Brandon Schaff takes us to Lake Monroe.
Downed trees and damaged docks littering Monroe Lake. Severe storms leaving a trail of damage. Katrina Rami lives about 30 minutes away and goes out on the water with friends here. She says that the damage is tough to take in.
It breaks my heart because we were supposed to go on a boat today and we couldn't do that. And then just coming out here all the time, and watching the beauty of it and then seeing the devastation.
After those overnight storms, the damage on full display here at Winds Marina. This tree completely knocked over. The docks behind disconnected and in the water when those storms were happening. And the boaters reacting to those storms.
It was loud. I mean, stuff was crashing down. All of our, lawn chairs and stuff on bars was blowing around, so I mean it was just chaos.
Kevin Templeman said that his boat got tossed around by the strong winds, and he watched people trying to take cover in the heavy rain. Another boater said that it was quiet at the marina until the storm hit.
And all of a sudden you see all the winds and the boat shaking, and you just kind of felt the docks separating.
About 100 people were stranded when the docks broke loose. Several fire engines responded from Monroe Fire Protection District, and they split up crews to check on all the boaters.
There was nobody hurt, then we're able to just kind of slow things down and just kind of methodically go through, make sure everybody was safe, and then get evacuated over to the shoreline.
Now it's about cleaning up what the storm took down. Brandon Schaff, 13 News.
All right, so storms now cleared out. Let's take a live look at downtown Indianapolis tonight. That heat and humidity, though, not cleared out, sticking around into at least the start of the work week. Meteorologist Rob Ellis is talking heat, humidity, and eventually kind of a break for us.
Yeah, you said it just right. The start of the work week. It's going to stay hot and humid.
Okay.
But after that, I've actually just looked at some new model data. And if you're kind of over this heat and humidity, you may really like what I'm going to say. In Maine weather, in the meantime, I'm going to talk about how you get started on the work week. I know you don't necessarily want that news, but that's what they pay me for, right? 78 for Eagle Creek, 80 for Indy, 73 at Mount Comfort. The temperatures have certainly come down from where they were earlier in the day, and it has been a much quieter day than what we had yesterday. Really did not get those storms firing during the afternoon. There were a couple of stray storms that popped up just over the Indiana-Illinois line. Outside of that, it's been a quiet forecast. Most of the activity has been a little farther to the west. We just weren't able to see any of those storms pop during the afternoon. We had a good bit of those move through sometime early in the morning as we expected. So for tonight, let's call it partly cloudy skies to mostly clear skies, 72 for the overnight low. Looking ahead to tomorrow, another day almost identical to today. 90s, low 90s for most of you. We expect humid conditions. A stray storm couldn't be ruled out. And then tomorrow it's back up, yes, into the 90s again. Then we should start to see some changes. By the way, we're also going to talk about Hurricane Aaron. I have the latest on that coming up.
All right, see you in a few minutes, Rob. Thank you. It has been a violent weekend in Indianapolis with at least 10 people shot in 6 separate incidents from Saturday morning through tonight. 5 people were hurt at one scene alone, and we know one person, a juvenile, has died. That juvenile was killed this morning on the city's north side. Metro police were called to an apartment building near 21st and Central Avenue. They found a boy inside an apartment with a gunshot wound. He died at the scene. Detectives believe he was shot at a party being held in a short-term rental. But no witnesses came forward in this case, and now officers hope the community and surveillance cameras can help them solve the case.
Another thing you'll notice is this area is really developed, so a lot of these buildings have cameras on the outside. There's also Dollar General here that's got an outdoor business video camera. So hopefully some of that digital video will be very good for the detectives to use to hopefully line up some witnesses and maybe some suspects.
Meanwhile, anyone with information on that shooting at the party is asked to give police a call. Metro Police also investigating a shooting on the southeast side. This happened just before 7 a.m. in a neighborhood on Finley Avenue. That's near Raymond and I-65. Officers there found an adult who'd been shot. They were taken to the hospital in critical condition. And IMPD now says 5 people, not 4, were hurt in a shooting Saturday on Browse Avenue on the near northeast side. Yesterday, officers found 3 victims at the scene and a 4th walked into Community East Hospital. But last night, police found a person shot and injured near 38th and Sherman, and investigators believe that victim is also connected to the Browse Avenue shooting. Well, now to an update on homeless encampments in Indianapolis. We've been sharing with you the city's policies and efforts over the past few weeks. Well, now faith groups are stepping up as well. Today, congregations from across central Indiana joined together in an effort to end chronic homelessness. Christ Church Cathedral is just one joining the Streets to Home initiative. They're helping to raise money and resources for nearly 2,000 people experiencing homelessness in Indy. The church's dean says this mission is about more than simply helping our neighbors.
When all of our neighbors are housed, we are a better community. We are there for each other. And so we encourage people, whether you're a part of a faith community or not, to be a part of this effort.
Streets to Home Indy says it plans to house 350 people by next summer. They're currently trying to connect people with resources in the Fountain Square homeless encampment. Well, we have some sad news to share tonight about a legendary Hoosier. Gail Cook has died at the age of 91. Gail and her late husband Bill Cook co-founded Cook Incorporated in Bloomington in 1963. That became the multi-billion-dollar family of companies known as the Cook Group, now a leader globally in biotech manufacturing and life sciences. Gail Cook was also a philanthropist and really passionate about historic preservation. She worked on about 70 projects, including the restoration of the West Baden Springs and French Lick resorts.